Whoops, I don't know that we have to do work sessions, workshops live, but. All right. Oh, I think, I mean, I kind of covered it at the beginning. I'm good with wherever you all want. I mean, you just direct us where to take the conversation on this one. I did send you all on Friday a kind of a little review. I actually plugged it into artificial intelligence and let it tell me, okay, give me a bulleted list of the changes here and kind of what the impact is and the purpose and those kind of things. So hopefully that was somewhat helpful. And just kind of help us go through and compare the two documents. And so.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hadn't had time to go through it, so.
All right.
I just noticed that I got an email on this afternoon, so I just, I have not been able to read through it.
Well, I don't think we need to be in a big hurry. I mean, I'll answer any other questions that we have. And my thought is if not everyone is ready to discuss, why don't we answer any questions that you all have right now? And then between now and the next time we bring this up, Carrie and I can put some wording together on the ethics policy to make sure we understood what you all were saying tonight, let you review that, and then go into this one at the next one. Probably that would be one of the meetings in January, because we already have a couple topics on December's workshop. So we'll skip that one, and if you all want, I'll answer any questions that are anything that look at any areas that you have for tonight, but if not, we'll just wait until the next meeting.
And in the meantime, you can share.
Right.
Just shoot him an email that says, this.
Yeah, if you have questions, sure,
Yeah.
sure, yes, absolutely. Y'all want to just wait till the next time, so you have better time and you can.
Just take a couple minutes here and just see if.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Up. Yeah.
Just to throw out something here. pages are not numbered, but, just under the correspondence. Uh, I know I forwarded something to you here last week that someone sent me an email. And I think they just only sent it to two of the council members here, Josh and I. And I know you sent us an email and everything. I'm still struggling with how to respond back to that person. Don't want to seem like I'm ignoring it.
Right.
And when I read this, it tells me that, we should talk to staff and everything, or the city manager. I forward the email to you, and so how do council respond to something like that, that will keep the citizens happy, because they are the ones who put us up here?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I'm just struggling with that.
Yeah, so I think, if we're talking about, so I'm reminding myself that the document had sections for council relations with each other, relations with staff, council relations with other boards and other bodies. But it doesn't really govern council relations with your constituents. As I see it, you all are free and have an obligation to talk to your constituents. They are the ones that put you here. They are the ones that expect, and you have to have an open ear to them. You have to listen, or you won't be sitting here for very long, right? So the way I see it is, when a resident brings something to you, then the way our charter works is you'll convey it through the city manager, whoever's in this chair, to handle it appropriately, provide you information back, either to communicate from the city manager directly to that resident, from a staff member to that resident, or from yourself, providing, after you've gotten that feedback, providing a response to them and making sure that that's appropriate. If it hasn't been, or they feel like they're not getting adequate attention, maybe then the opportunity is for us together, whichever council member and the city manager, to sit with that resident and hear them, make sure that we're both making ourselves available to hear their concerns and to make sure that they're being addressed. But I think that that's in place, and I think most of you all are comfortable responding back and making sure that you can contact me, and if we need to, we'll together we'll sit down and address them. And if we need to bring other staff members in, if it's something that gets to the operational level and we need to bring other staff members in, we certainly can do that as well.
Yeah, because if it's like something that's, coming up on a upcoming agenda, staff's already done their thing. So if they're just wanting to talk to you about how you feel about how you're gonna vote on something, or if they want to just encourage you to go a certain way, that's normal. That's, unless you want to clarify some information that only staff could provide, if they're, if it's something that's operational that.
Well, I think that this involved more of the day-to-day operations. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes, sir. And I think that's one of those things that, that there are going to be those times where we have staff members that have a lot of obligations, a lot of responsibilities to this community, and they look at things, hopefully at the director level and at city manager's level, look at things from the big picture as to how things interrelate and how things affect other areas of operations. And while a resident might come with a concern, sometimes their concern might not be able to be addressed as the highest priority or the immediate need, because there might be other things that are taking place leading up to that. And I think sometimes we just have to have that conversation of we have staff members that have evaluated it, that have made what the best decisions that we can, and we have to we have to understand that if we disagree with them, we either redirect staff, or we make changes in staff if we can't. But I think that the staff's responsibility is to look at things and to make the proper decisions for the order of things to take place, or to prioritize needs accordingly. And just because we get one resident that tells us priorities should be different, that doesn't necessarily make it fact. And so sometimes we have to trust that we have looked at more than just that one person's perspective, and we've made decisions based on the bigger picture.
Well, I'm gonna ask the attorney a question here, since we're talking about policies. Is there something in the policy right now that would forbid two council members from meeting with a citizen of the community? This particular person have requested to meet with two council members.
When I look at that correspondence section, what it says, and I don't recall another provision in here that speaks to it, but maybe there is. It says if correspondence is addressed to only one council member, maybe two, said two, that council member should check with staff on the best way to respond to the senator. So I think what that is saying is that check with staff, see what the facts are in terms of, are there additional details or facts that you should know as a council member before responding or meeting with them. I think that's what that's saying. I don't recall a provision that says that you should not meet with them. Two council members is not a quorum. It would not be an open meetings violation. So you could legally meet with that person, two council members.
Yeah, but that exposes you to that walking quorum type thing. It's two people out of the picture that can't talk to anybody else.
Correct. Then it becomes a quorum because that's, a majority of five. So you do have to be careful of that and be aware of that. So even if it's just one of the two that goes and talks to another one, that would be a walking quorum, daisy chain quorum, whatever you want to call it. And so you would have to be careful in doing so. But I'm not aware of any provision that would prohibit two council members from meeting with a constituent. But be careful. Robert, is there anything in the policy that you recall that would?
No, but I do stand corrected. There is actually a section that says council relations with the citizens, that I was in my mind not remembering off the top of my head, but and it basically just does talk about how you all as council members welcome citizen input. You'll refer it to the appropriate city personnel, city managers, through the city manager's office, and we'll provide responses to them where appropriate. And I think I would say no, there is nothing that in black and white prohibits two council members from meeting with any resident on any topic. The problem becomes as soon as one of those two council members leave and have even a passing conversation with any of the other members of council, there are some that would say you've created a walking quorum and have violated the Open Meetings Act, which has civil and criminal penalties in some cases. And I think that's where we have to be careful and cautious that we don't cross that line.
Just, I want to be in compliance, but at the same time, I want the citizens to know that.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, sir.
And part of that is the public doesn't realize how restricted we are. They don't understand. Why can't you meet with two people? Here's one.
But I do think that when I forwarded to you the other day, that gave me something to go back to her. I hadn't talked back to that person yet, but
Right.
I think I could hopefully respond to
Yes,
some
sir.
of the things that you said.
And a walking quorum could also include an email.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
From an email that the city manager sends out, or email that the council sends
It would
out?
be one the council sent out, but, yeah, not the city manager, because he can send.
I can send information to
We
you
can
all. Yes.
respond to
Send to
him.
him.
That's right.
But we can't reply all because then we've got an open meeting.
Right.
Or a private, I mean. And it's good that you put that, Robert, every time. This is a reminder to each
Right.
of us not to reply all.
That's in my
I mean,
template.
If it was somebody that had wanted to meet with me and somebody else, I would just tell them that I'll be happy to meet with you. And if you don't mind, could you meet with that other person separately? Just, just so that you're,
Protect yourself.
yeah. That's my opinion.
Well, the reason I'm bringing that up now is we're in this process of doing this. And
Yes.
it's something that we need to put in this new policy if we're changing the policy about this. I'm thinking,
Well, part of this is, the Open Meetings Act is addressed in here, right?
Correct.
So
Yes, sir.
it covers that as far as.
But I don't know that I don't know that we've proposed any changes to that process. I think we're just,
in communicating with the citizens.
right. I don't think we're
Mhm.
restricting that or changing it in any
No,
way. I
it's
think we're just making sure that we all,
Just clarifying it, like your question was just to clarify that. And I mean, if somebody's very passionate about something, it shouldn't, I don't know, it would seem to me that they would want to meet separately and not together. I don't know, but.
Just reading this here, since we're setting up this solid and everything, I'm gonna ask another question here. Limit contract to staff, contact the staff. Up underneath the conduct. Say reaffirm that requests for information should go through the city manager, city attorney, city secretary, or department head. Clarify that the city manager office should be copied on requests for transparency. And so is that saying that if one of the council members want information, that whoever we ask that information from, we CC the city manager?
I would say I would classify that as a best practice, just because it keeps the city manager in the loop, whether I'm in the seat or not. One of the things that I ask of my staff members, because I work for you all, not the other way around. And so I can't instruct you necessarily on what to do, but I can instruct my staff. So what I tell them, is if they get a request, from a council member, to CC me on their response back. That brings me into the loop. So even if you don't include me on the request, you should see me as copied on the response back. again, that's not saying I want to limit the information that comes to you all. I just want awareness of the kind of questions that are being asked so that I can adequately prioritize things and give instruction where instruction might be needed.
But isn't the best practice, if it has to do with something that's actionable, that it should go through you?
It should, if it's going to be tantamount to an assignment, or something that needs action, then yes, it should, because again, just for awareness, so I know what the staff is being tasked with.
Well, the
You,
city,
you direct staff.
Right.
We direct you,
Correct.
so it's not,
We don't need to be
it's not
telling the staff
appropriate
what
for me
do.
to tell a staff member to do something.
Right, and so there is kind of a fine line there between directing staff, or if you're just asking a question. If you're just asking for information or an update, there's nothing wrong with going straight to, a particular director. And again, I just like to have awareness for my own, just so I know kind of, what's on your radar and what those priorities are. So I asked the staff to CC me on the response if I wasn't on the inquiry.
But it's not to the level that if I run across Susie at Brookshire Brothers and I ask her a question, we don't have to notify you for that.
No. Susie works for you.
I know the answer. Oh, yeah, I don't have your number.
Correct.
I will say in the past, though, when y'all do give me something, I do copy the city manager.
I think that's a good practice.
Teamwork.
yeah, I kind of like that, but you gotta respect administration authority, that the administration oversight rests solely with the city manager. The council role remains policy and direction, not personnel or operation.
I would just say if there's anything else, just shoot an email to Robert and,
One other quick question here
Yeah.
before you close out. Up underneath the digital communication, say recognize that much communication now occurs through via email and text. Encourages the use of office city system for transparency and record retention. So the council do not have city phones.
Correct.
So if we want to contact you or ask you a question about city business, do we do it on our laptop or?
Well, you can, but there's nothing wrong with a text message. We just have to be aware that if we send a text message, whether or not it's on a city phone and it's relating to city business, that particular text message is governed now by the open, or the
open record.
Public Information Act. And we have a retention schedule that we have to retain that and not delete it if someone were to do an open records request. And so you just have to remember that if you do choose to conduct business on a personal device, city business, doesn't make everything on that device open to the Open Meetings Act. Only the city business related materials would be relevant, but we do have to retain those still. And so the reason the policy is written like it, encouraging use of city devices, because we have those policies kind of incorporated into our city systems where we save those messages for whatever the retention schedule is. I won't try to spout the city. Susie might be able to spout those off the top of her head. I know some of them are 2 years and some of them are so long, and some of them you can get rid of when they're of, no value and different things. But again, there are retention schedules that apply if it is city business related messaging.
Most stuff is 3 years, but I don't know that exact one off the top of my head. But
Pursuant to state law, council member, you are considered a temporary custodian of city records. If you use your personal device, as Robert was saying, you are considered a temporary custodian of that record until you turn it over to the city. So if you wanted to make a screenshot, or since it's not captured by the city's server, if you wanted to make a screenshot, give it to Susie, then that would relieve you. You could delete that message if it dealt with city business, and then you could delete it. But until that happens, you're really a custodian of that record and do need to retain it. So the law was amended about, I don't know, 2 or 3 sessions ago to provide that specifically, so that you do have a duty to turn that over to the city should the city receive a request for records that involve something that is on your phone or another device. So just be aware of that.
So it's kind of more if a citizen send an email to reply on the city laptop too, instead of your personal phone or desktop.
In terms of minimizing
Yeah.
what you have on your
It
personal
would be
device,
in-
yes, sir, that would be
It would be encouraged to,
That
if
would
you
be,
could do it that
a
way.
safe way to, and I think that's captured by the city server too.
If it's an email to your city email address, it's not gonna matter where you send it from. It's coming through the city's email domain, and that record stays there in your sent items or in your inbox.
Yeah, cause I've got both email in my phone. And so kinda have to be aware of making sure of
You use
of which email which email address I'm using. Is that good for now? All right, we will re-adjourn.